Hey guys, if you are struggling with anime styled sets and you don't know how to build your spikes up and they don't look right, keep watching. I'm going to show you guys all my tips and tricks on how to create beautiful triangulated spikes. 9s and 10s, but we're just going to do the major spikes. So I have 11, 12, 13, 14s. You can actually drop down by 2 millimeters if you want to as well, but that just limits the amount of either how long or how short you can go. So I like to, you can do double the amount if you want to, like go down by 2 millimeters. If you have maybe like a 16 millimeter spike, the biggest, and then you can drop down by 14, 12, and then 10. And that'll give you a really dramatic, chunky, triangulated shape. But if you want something a little bit more natural, you can just go down by 1 millimeter and just keep building it up for yourself. So you always want to start with the longest length first, which is going to be my 14 millimeter. And I'm using Cammy Nguyen tweezers. These guys are great. They are fiber tip as well. So it really helps me grab all of my fibers for my lash extensions. I like to go in and kind of see how much I want to pick up. And I bring it to the right, if you guys can see that. Let me zoom in a little bit better. So I'm going to kind of imagine how much I'm going to pick up, and I go to the right and try to pick up as much as I can in a nice little spike. And you want to make sure it's a nice spike at the top. The bottoms, we can always try to fix it, but do you see how this top is really pointy? That's exactly what we want. So I'm going to stick it in my glue, kind of make them come together as so, and there we go. That is going to be one nice spike. If I wanted it to be super, super perfect, I can always drop that one down and try to do it again. And there we go. That one's a good one as well. And again, dropping it in my glue. And that one looks great too. So I'm going to place this bad boy on here. So that was the first technique. That is super, super important, is how you're going to pick it up. So you're going to pick up your spikes like that every single time, okay? And then I'm just going to go in and just place it. So I'm going to double dip because this is a very fast drying glue. And I'm going to put this one right in the center at the very top. And make sure it's nice and centered. Okay. Boom. We got our first guy on there. If I were doing this on a real client, I would actually start from left to right, building up my main spikes. So I would actually do like 11 here, 13, 14, 13, and 11 to create a doll-eye shape. Or you can do 12, 13, 14, whatever mapping you want. But we're just going to do one spike at a time, okay? So here I am grabbing, pulling to the side while gently closing my tweezers to try to get as much of a point as possible without having to use bonder or primer or anything, like no sealant or anything like that. I feel like the sealant actually makes it harder to work with, and it actually flares out your bottoms and gives you square bases, which is what we do not want. We want nice, clean, tight bases, even if we are doing, you know, an anime set. And then next step, so the way that we're going to be placing this on, you want to be able to direct it to either the right or the left, depending on what side you're going to work on first. So I'm going to do, let's do the right, well, let's do the left side. And I'm going to dip it in my glue, and you can either put it from the top or the bottom. I'm going to put it from the top. And when I place it on, I'm going to let it kind of drift a little bit to the right and slightly over direct it to the right. Let it do its thing, because I want it to slightly point towards the middle, and that'll help us create that triangulated look. You don't want it to completely cross over, okay? So I have the very, very tips of it, as you can see, touching the next spike that it's next to. And this is what is going to give you a beautiful triangulated shape. And look at that, even just with 2 spikes, if you turn it this way, oh my gosh, she's gorgeous. She's perfect. You can also take your tweezers and kind of pinch them together, see if they're laying right. They look phenomenal. And on a doll head, this is gonna look pretty dramatic. Like, do you see these guys right here? This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6D spike, and it looks pretty crazy, pretty intense on here. But if you were to do this on a client, it would actually give you the same effect as this. Again, it's not very realistic doing spikes on a doll head, of course, because nobody's lashes are as perfect as this. So I typically build up my spikes up to like 4 to 60. In the very fronts though, sometimes I'll just do a 2D or a 3D because again, the fronts of everybody's lashes are a little bit weaker. And then the middle spikes, or like the ones in the center, you can build it up a little bit more. So I'm just going to continue building this up using the same exact techniques that we were doing before. So since I did 14 in the middle, 13 on the left, we're going to do 13 on the right one. So same thing, I'm going to apply it to the very top of the lash, making sure it's nice, and then angling it inwards towards the other spike slightly. Kind of giving it a little push. And just like that, they are leaning into each other perfectly again. And we are going to turn this guy around, and look at that. Our spike is even darker than before, and we just added one more. So this is now a 3D spike. And also depending on how their lashes are too. If their lashes cannot support a big spike, I'm not putting on a big spike and ruining their lashes, because first off, it's not going to lay right and it's not going to last well on them either. So we have to be completely realistic with our clients. This set looks great on girls with more straight lashes. If your client has curly lashes, it's going to look great for the first couple of days, but it's going to look really wonky really fast. So just let your clients know that hey, you know, anime sets, it's a very precise set, and once your lashes grow out wonky or curly, it'll kind of mess up the set. So please be realistic when doing lashes on people. And again, here I am just directing that spike to the right into the inner. And this, you guys, is without any primer, any bonder, nothing. It's just me making up my spikes itself. I want to make sure that it looks nice and that they're laying beautifully. And that is what she's looking like. So this is with 12 on the outside. I'm going to go one more and do 11s. Sometimes it'll do that and flare out. You can always grab it by the top and see if it'll close, and boom, it just closed. That's another trick that you can do. Sometimes it works for me, sometimes it doesn't, because the glue that I use now is very quick drying. It's a 0.5 glue. So I'm putting it on and then over directing it towards the center. There we go. And honestly, you guys, this would look so much better on a real person, because real people's lashes are actually closer together than this doll head's. Oh my god, my lash glue is so strong. Look at that. It does not want to move. Okay. We're just going to leave that on. I kind of messed it up, but it's whatever. I'm going to pop this on here. Over direct it to the center before it dries completely. There we go. And you don't want to over direct it so much that it crisscrosses, okay? Sometimes it can happen, and you want to try your best to not let that happen. If it crisscrosses together, it'll form an X and not a triangle, and it'll kind of throw the look off. Sometimes, you know, you can't help it, especially with girls who have curlier lashes, but there we go, you guys. I think it looks stunning. This right here is so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a 7D spike right here. And if I were to do this on the rest of the eyes, it would look beautiful. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys take lots of notes. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. I always use 0.07 lashes for this. This is a CC Curl. The brand that I use specifically is Nvied lashes. Oh my gosh, this tray is empty, but the OG silk lashes. These guys are phenomenal with wet sets. because they are super black and dense. The texture of them are, I will say, a little bit on the plasticier side. So they are not great for fanning at all, but they are great for spikes. They do have this guy, the Luxe, as well. This is great if you want fluffiness. They're very soft. They're like a faux mink in my opinion. They're royal silk, but I think that they're, again, like a mink. But use this one, you guys, if you guys don't know which ones to use. These guys are super affordable. They're only 13 bucks. I don't know if they're having a sale for the holidays, but I love it. The glue as well that I'm using is super strong. If you guys can tell, like, it kind of stuck onto the plastic and it does not want to budge. I actually bent that lash trying to take it off, but the glue that I was using today is going to be this guy. I have had such amazing retention with this glue, but it dries really fast because it's a 0.5. You do need, like, I would say 30% humidity, but it dries super quick, and I love a low humidity glue because I live in Vegas. So I do have my humidifier running right now because it's super dry in the winters, but this guy is phenomenal. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.